It's the left versus the right. In the right corner, Dominic Carter. In the left corner, it's Anthony Weiner. Now, to the Bernard McGurk Studios, it's a 77 WABC debate. The Melee in the Metropolis.
So welcome to another very special episode of Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on the left, Dominic Carter on the right. Anthony Weiner on the left of the country. Wait a minute, I'm on the right of the country and you're in Milwaukee. So how does it feel there? Are you resting up a little bit before you come back?
Well, I have to tell you, Anthony, thanks to you that I was here for an extra day. Thanks to you so that we can do the left versus the right now. And even here in Milwaukee, I just finished listening to you. You had a great show, and I am going to be very interested in what you have to say this week today, because a lot has happened.
You bet. Like about an hour after we went off the air last week was the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. First of all, when you heard that and saw that, what was your first reaction?
My first reaction is I was saddened. I wanted to make sure the man was okay. The same way I would be if it were you, because I know him on a personal level. I know you on a personal level. If I saw you giving a speech and all of a sudden I saw you on TV giving a speech and all of a sudden you grab your your right ear, and then all of a sudden there's blood pouring down your face, an amount of blood, I would be terribly concerned. But I was extremely proud of those agents that immediately put their lives on the line to pile on Mr. Trump, literally that another bullet could fly any second, and they did what they're trained to do. But it takes enormous being a hero to do something like that. Of course, yesterday was the funeral for the firefighter. And I think it was remarkable, and I'm sure we'll talk about this. And I also have a bone to pick with you, Anthony, about language that we use to refer to Trump. But I was happy to see that during his speech here in Milwaukee, that he had the fire chief, so his helmet, his jacket, walked up to it and kissed it on stage, his helmet.
Well, we were going to go chronologically, but let's talk a little. The assassination, I thought it was I was surprised, but a very classy thing that Donald Trump did when he went out of his way a couple of minutes at the very top of the speech to say that, basically give the Secret Service a stamp of approval. At least the people that you pointed out did their job. Now, I think this is something that we can all agree upon. I am just, and I can imagine people at that convention were like this also, I am dumbfounded at what led to it. I mean, we don't know all the facts yet. I hope there's an investigation of it. It seems to me, I'm not an expert on security, and I've been around Secret Service a lot for my during my time with Huma. I have enormous respect for them, as I do for most, just about every law enforcement. But how it got to a point that anyone could have been a couple of minutes on a rooftop within 150 yards of the former president of the United States is outrageous to me. I mean, I don't want to dwell on it because we're going to learn more about it, but I just think that was outrageous.
Well, what appears to clearly have happened, and I spent an entire year with the Secret Service. It goes back almost 40 years, but back in '88, when I was assigned to cover the Reverend Jesse Jackson all around the country and world. But what I think clearly happened is that, of course, Anthony, and you know this, the Secret Service, they have part of the protection. They're primarily responsible for the individual state and local police pick up the perimeter. The question is, where does the outside perimeter begin? And I think what happened in this case, and you're right, perhaps we shouldn't second guess. Perhaps we should wait for all the facts. But I think what happened is they're so used to the Secret Service sometimes with short staffing that they say, okay, let's just go ahead and do it. Nothing's going to happen. And 9 out of 10 times, nothing happens. But this is the one time where a deranged young man was waiting.
Yeah, I mean, let me just, we don't need to dwell on this much, because thank God President Trump survived, and thank God he was able to go ahead with the convention. But I do think that one of the things that's emerged already as we sit here on Saturday is that they knew for minutes that there was a suspicious guy walking around. When I was on the campaign trail with Hillary in 2008, it was not unusual for the Secret Service to say, hey, let's hold here for a couple of minutes. We have something going on. They should have just held President Trump off the stage until they knew exactly what was going on. But again, we're all doing it based on newspaper reports. I hope there is an investigation. I think people that are calling for the head of the Secret Service's head on this, I might be with them. I mean, if I hear a little bit more, I might be with them. But I thought it was classy of the president. But let's talk a little bit about. Let's go to the last part first. The president's speech. What was your takeaway? You were there all week, by the way, doing remarkable shows, filling in all kinds of information for us, doing great interviews. I still can't understand what goes on between your ears sometimes, but you did amazing radio. Tell me a little bit about what your view is of Donald Trump's speech. He said it was going to be a different tone. Did you hear a different tone?
I definitely got a different tone. Initially, to be honest with you, Anthony, I was concerned about Mr. Trump's well-being, mentally and physically, right? Because he's gone through a life-altering situation. And remember, you and I and everybody else in America, we have the luxury of observing what went on. Every time Mr. Trump takes the stage now, I'm sure he's going to try to get it out of his head, but I'm sure there's somewhere in the back of his mind he's going to be very much so security guarded. And the agents that are assigned to protect him, they have been with him. There's a comfort level. And it was nice for him to acknowledge them in his speech. They have been with him for a number of years. And I do think the message that I got from Mr. Trump on Thursday night was one of he's preaching unity and he's vowing to heal a divided country. And that's a great thing. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Well, except he didn't stick to it. I mean, whenever he went off, I found the thing to be I love a good political speech. I've told you that before. I thought it was a very kind of low energy. I think he was trying to be too somber by half. And whenever he left the teleprompter and went back to election denial and crazy Nancy Pelosi and Hannibal Lecter, it was like he was just bringing out all the old hits. So the problem is he has no discipline when he gives these speeches. Either do the teleprompter speech they wrote for you and you're promoted, maybe keep that tone. But I got to tell you, Dominic, it went on way too long and it was way too meandering. And I have to tell you, it was really tough for me to stay awake for it.
Well, listen. Trump, one, I didn't hear him doing the greatest hits of things that's divided the country. I saw a man that was speaking from the heart, that has had a life-altering experience. And how would the average person feel, Anthony, all that he's had to undergo with these investigations? And then, thank God a judge says, you know what? This stuff is unconstitutional, dismissed. Now, yes, the special prosecutor is appealing, but Trump has gone through a lot. Yeah,
but how does that explain going back to Hannibal Lecter and election denial and these other things? I thought he's changing the tone and they're emptying their prisons and all that other kind of stuff. Look,
okay, but it's true, and this is when you and I get into it. These leaders from around the world are emptying their prisons. And then you're going to turn around and say, give me the exact proof. Show it to me in writing, Dominic. This is what you always say, Anthony.
I won't bother because it hasn't happened.
Oh, come on, Anthony. Look at the crimes that these people are accused of committing, these migrants.
Well, let me ask you that. There was a whole day, I think it was day 3, devoted to crime. It must have been tough to listen to speeches about crime when crime is down across the country.
Anthony, we have to change the way, the tone in the country. And frankly, Democrats have to change your talking points. It's not working for you guys. With all due respect towards Democrats are delusional.
Well, let me ask you.
Trump is in the position that he's in to win this election because you guys, Democrats, are so far out there and are completely delusional.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this. Several times, I know I say several, I mean maybe 500 times. I stopped counting after a while. I couldn't watch the whole thing. kept coming up. We keep hearing how this is a unifying effort by the Republicans. They did this. They did that. They tried to kill him. They are trying to do this. They are ruining our country. They are vermin. They are swine. Who's the they?
The far left Democrats.
Far-left Democrats.
And what? Say that again?
So far left. So not center-left Democrats, only far left. That's who they is. What happened to unifying the country? You can't say they. It's supposed to be us if you're unifying the country. And yet throughout the entire week, it was all they this, they that. And I must have heard 20 people refer to they tried to do this, and then they said they tried to shoot him and kill him. What is that even? Who are people referring to? Even the president's son said that.
I know you're not going to stand here this afternoon and try to tell me that Democrats didn't set the stage for this man to be shot. I please tell me that's not your approach.
Well, first of all, answer my question. Who's the they that kept getting referred to by the Republicans?
I just told you. Far left Democrats.
Far left. Okay.
And in this case, the Biden campaign.
The Biden campaign. Okay. So I just want to understand, because you're not unifying the country. You're saying far left Democrats, let's say that's 25% of the country, the Biden campaign.
Okay.
But
Can you tell me how Democrats are unifying the country?
Well, we're trying to win an election. People are trying to stop.
That's unifying the country.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's when Donald Trump stands on the stage and says, I don't want to be the president for half the country, I want to be president of the whole country. What he means is I'm trying to get elected by 51% of the country. That's what he means.
So now you can interpret what's in his mind.
No, that's
but you're the same guy that put Biden on a pedestal for every segment that we've done.
Yeah.
And he's completely, with all due respect to the president of the United States, he's completely falling on his face.
I know, but
it is over for him.
I understand, but here's what he's not.
But can you tell me, week after week, you have shouted me down, you have talked me down in terms of praising Biden and all of his great ideas, and now major Democrats are putting the nail in the coffin.
We aren't up to that yet.
So either your rhetoric was correct or it was not. Which one is the case?
First of all, we're not up to Joe Biden yet. We're still talking about Donald Trump. But here's what I will say.
This is what you do.
Here's what
you do.
Yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do. There's got to be a song in there somewhere.
No. Whenever you don't have anything to say on substance, you pivot quickly.
No, I'm going to give you the answer. We who opposed Donald Trump getting elected again are doing it because we're trying to defend our democracy and defend our country. This is a guy that led an insurrection, has violated the laws.
He did not lead an insurrection. He's not charged with leading an insurrection.
Yeah, basically is. He basically is. That's basically what.
No.
That's what the Washington case
is he charged with leading an insurrection?
There's no crime. There's no crime of leading an insurrection. There's crime of trying to stop the free exercise of our democracy and trying to stop it by force. He called a rally on January 6th, right?
You know, I think I'm going to stay in Milwaukee. I think I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to stay in Milwaukee. I think I'm going to stay here.
Well, let's get back to Donald Trump, and
I'll be a political reporter locally here, and I'll cover the governor of Wisconsin. But anyway,
all right, fair enough. I guess what I'm saying, what that when you talk about unifying the country, that's a great thing to do, and I think that Joe Biden has tried to do that. But when Donald Trump talks about
stop.
No, we're going to do Biden in a minute. Let me finish my Trump point.
You said Biden has tried to do it.
Let me finish my Trump point.
So how well does Hitler in official campaign ads? How well does that work with that? If you're trying to unify the country.
If the shoe fits. I'm sorry. We can't lie about Donald Trump, so we got to tell the truth about him.
So it's okay to call him, and literally in campaign ads, to call him Hitler.
He called Americans vermin. That's exactly the word that Hitler used.
Okay, and it's okay to call the man several times a racist.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that Democrats didn't plant the seed for that bullet
he is
to
a
hit
racist.
Mr. Trump in his ear?
Wait a minute, hold on a second. First of all, the guy had a Trump flag outside his house. Don't get ahead. Don't be one of these people online who wants to ignore the stuff. There's no evidence at all that's what this is about. Right? The guy's father had a Trump sign outside. He had a Trump sign outside. So it just doesn't fit the narrative. Now, that doesn't stop people from saying they tried to kill him. They tried to kill him. You know who tried to kill him? Anyone who voted to allow AR-15s in the hands of an 18-year-old. That's who killed him. Are you one of those people? I don't think you are. Get AR-15s off our streets. Maybe finally now Republicans will realize having AR-15s all over the place, even when they're shooting after their leader, AR-15s are part of this problem. You got to agree with that.
But I notice you haven't dealt with the rhetoric. You basically said it's
Trump's
accurate.
way worse. Trump's way worse. I'm
Okay,
not saying from time to time. I don't call him a cult leader, but it's way worse. He literally led people to the Capitol.
Wait. Did you say, Anthony, you don't call Trump a cult leader?
No, I'm saying that I'm not saying that I don't call him names from time to time, but it's very different than leading
every week.
Yeah,
you
I call him a name.
names.
I call him a name. But
You call him stupid.
Suddenly name
you
calling.
call his supporters Bubba.
Suddenly name calling.
Every single week you have a new name to tee off.
Really, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary. You're going to really get on me about using people's names?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Sleepy Joe compared to Hitler.
Wait,
Now,
he said the vermin of our country. Who is he referring to? Me? Was he referring to me?
No, he's
far left people.
He's referring to
because Hitler used that language, Dominic. You know that.
The reason the people here are referring to are illegal migrants that are destroying the country.
He said the socialists.
And that's why.
No, he said in that quote, he said the socialists, the fascists, and these other names are the vermin of our country. I mean, does he mean far left Democrats are vermin?
Okay, so notice.
He's just worse. He's bad at this.
Anthony,
I mean, he's the reason.
I thought of this week. If there ever was a time, I thought that you would come and say that, especially considering that you and I were on the air, and I believe in less than 2 hours after we went off the air, this happened last Saturday. I really thought that you would come here today, this afternoon, and say, you know what? Democrats and their rhetoric is 1,000% wrong. That's what I really thought you would say.
All right, here's what I would say, Dominic. Here's what I say. I don't think anyone should be mean to anyone. I get it. But there's a very different thing for me calling someone a silly name and someone calling someone the vermin and quoting Hitler. That's a very different thing. And someone then but I have a much bigger problem with the actions. He took the action of calling a rally on January 6th. By the way, I noticed no one mentioned January 6th during that thing, despite the fact that some of the criminals of January 6th were in the audience. That he called that rally, said we're going to march on the Capitol, and the purpose of doing it was to stop the free transfer of power. Someone who challenges our very foundations of our government is very different from someone who says Dopey Donald or something like that.
Here we go. See, you guys, meaning Democrats, you still won't own what you did to plant the seed for Trump to come close to being shot in the head.
Listen, here's what I'll say as we go to break. Don't get out over your skis about what the motivation of this kid was. Because right now, all the information we have is that the guy profiles as a Republican. And then you got to ask yourself, maybe he's one of the Republicans that knows how dangerous Donald Trump is. But I'll give you a final word before you go to the break.
I want to throw up listening to what you just said.
Jesus.
And I think I'm going to stay here in Milwaukee.
Don't do it.
I think I'm just going to stay.
Don't do it. We need you back here. This is Left versus Right. Dominic Carter live from Milwaukee. Anthony Weiner here from New York. And we'll see you on the other side.
It's the left versus the right. Now, to the Bernard McGurk Studios, it's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. 77 WABC.
So welcome back to Left versus Right. Dominic Carter reporting from Milwaukee before he gets on a bus or a mule or something to get out of there to get home. Anthony Weiner on your left. Dominic, if people have not heard all of your reporting from out there, I urge them to get it on podcast. It was really excellent. And one of the real kind of exciting moments that there always is this time of year is the selection of vice president. But it wasn't that interesting because Trump has run before. Mike Pence is his vice. Wait a minute. My notes here say something different. How come Mike Pence isn't his vice president?
It's a very, very simple answer because presidents, when they're incumbent presidents, they often switch. Or sometimes they switch running mates. And what you're doing. So see, this is what you guys do, right? So you're like, okay. Let me hit him on Pence. And then after Pence, I'll go to abortion, and the show will be over by then.
Good point. I wasn't going to, but now that you mention it.
No, you are. You are because this is what you guys do.
Where's
This
Pence?
is what you guys
Where
do.
Is Pence?
Hey.
Yeah,
So are you willing to give Trump credit that he ran a masterful convention here? I mean, from start to finish.
I don't know. I mean, Trump. I mean, I don't know what Kid Rock is all about. I don't know what happened with that long break before he came on to speak. I don't know who he thinks he's persuading. That was got to be the whitest audience I've ever seen in my life. You were probably
you got to be joking me. I'm telling you,
Really?
there were people of color here.
What
What about
All
the
right.
great speech from Amber Rose?
Yeah,
the model?
tell me about the OnlyFans pro-choice. How's that? Those are Republican values, huh?
Well, here's the bottom line. We can joke all we want to, and you know what I just thought of.
Yes.
So it's the time of year, right? Where the campaign goes into full gear, and the Republicans just had their convention here in Milwaukee. The Democrats are going to have theirs in Chicago. Just one problem. Your party is so bad,
Not yet.
we
Let's
don't
do
know who the nominee is going to be in
Believe
your
me,
party.
I devoted the entire second half of the show to that. But let's finish to do J.D. Vance for a minute, because I mean, all kidding aside, it is not.
I don't think you want to do J.D. Vance.
Yeah, I do.
You can't win. You can't win.
How do you know what I'm going to say?
Vance is a rock star. You don't want to go there.
There's no way you listened to my podcast this week about J.D. Vance. You've been too busy. But why are you so sure what I'm going to say?
Because you're trying to get, this is what you do to me. You try and get to your talking points that you think make your case.
That's my job. That's my job.
Okay, well, Anthony, explain this to me,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So explain this.
That's what I'm here for. To explain stuff
for about 10 weeks, you've been praising Biden.
We're not doing Biden yet. Let's do J.D. Vance. Please stick to the rundown.
Okay, we'll get to J.D. Vance, but I just want you to answer my question. You've been praising Biden.
One of the best presidents of our lifetime.
Week after week.
One of the best presidents.
Week after week. And yet he's imploded.
Ready to go?
So what does that say about you guys? I won't make it personal about you, but what does it say about you guys and your wisdom?
I got to tell you something. I thought you'd want to talk about Vance, but we'll skip over Vance. I was going to do Vance, my little take on Vance, your little take on Vance. Let's do Vance, and then we'll go to Biden. I promise. I guarantee you.
See, no, I do. Not answer
All
my
right,
question.
I'll do it. It's just a matter of what order we do it. I'm trying to do good, disciplined radio.
Why does that have to be order? Let's just talk.
Fine.
The people want to hear your response to this question. You have been praising Biden.
Great president.
Biden has fallen completely on his face.
Great president. Inflation is down. More jobs have been created.
Okay, no. That's not what I'm asking you. What I'm asking you is why
I get to do Biden.
You want to give me a litany of these I'm going to say it again.
You want me to do
talking points? You want to give me a litany of these bullshit talking points? Deal with the substance. If you Democrats were so right about Biden, why is everything gone downhill? And as we speak right now, you don't have a nominee.
Hold on. You want to hear, you got to take your medicine and hear how good Joe Biden's been as a president. You ready to take your medicine? You ready to hear about another stock market record being broken? The longest continuous job numbers under 4% in American history. More jobs being created than any president in American history. And by the way, it's jobs plus the COVID rebound jobs. So don't believe the whole we just got my jobs back. A lower trade deficit than your big bully on China was able to get. Yeah, this guy's been a great president. Infrastructure Week went, wait a minute. Did I miss Infrastructure Week under Donald Trump, the great builder? That's because he couldn't pull it off. The guy couldn't figure out how to get his head out of his own ass when he was president. That's why he lost. That's why he lost.
Let's say for argument's sake, everything you just said is correct. So then what happened to your president?
He's too old.
Oh,
just like your guy is, by the way.
No.
What's his Hannibal Lecter fetish?
If Trump is too old, how come the American people don't see it that way, based on polling?
They do. No, they say both guys are too old. The polls both say they say. Well, Joe Biden.
Have you seen the latest poll?
Joe Biden,
in which Trump's lead is expanding over Biden.
Well, frankly. Presidents shoot up when they've been shot, no pun intended, and at conventions. He's had both, and the Democrats have been doing nothing but talking about getting rid of our guy. If your guy's being up by 2 points makes you so proud that things are amazing, you ain't paying attention. This is the worst continuous, this is the best it's ever going to be for Donald Trump, and the worst it's ever going to be for the Democrats, and you're still winning by 2 points. It's insane. You should be up by 60-40, 65-35.
No. And then when you look at the battleground states, it's even worse.
It's bad. It's very bad.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Weiner. Is Mr. Trump the president in waiting? Because I'm telling you, as I've been telling you from day one, he's the president in waiting. There is no real general election campaign. Trump is going back to the White House. Did I just say anything that's not true?
God willing. And
no,
God willing. Let me just finish.
Did I say something that was not true?
Is that a question you're asking me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
So I get to answer. God willing, and John and Margot Katzimatidis willing, we'll be here the first Tuesday in November to find out if you're right. But as of today, you guys are up. No doubt about it. I've been saying on our show that Joe Biden is losing as of today from, it feels like 3 months now. All that being said, Joe Biden has been an amazing president, way better than Donald Trump has. Did you hear Donald Trump and all of those speakers talk about the amazing 3 years that Donald Trump had? He had a 4 year. He had a 4 year term.
I tell you what.
Yes.
Let's go to a stronghold of the Democratic Party, and let's pick 10 residents. Hey, like the South Bronx. Hey, you told me there was no way that New York could be competitive. What about the fact, not my words, John King of CNN, that Trump is about to sweep based on not every state, but states that were traditionally not in play because Democrats own those states? Now your states are in play, not the Republican states. What does that tell you?
It tells you that we have an election going on that's closer than it should be. Donald Trump should be leading by 20 points. He's leading by 2.
No.
You know why he is? Because he's despised in the country. Joe Biden is having the. Let me ask you. You have a lot of experience in politics. Have you ever seen
any of you folks have any job applications here in Milwaukee? Because I think I'm going to stay. I know. As soon as I get off the air right now,
I'm going to be an ambassador.
I know. I'm supposed to head right to the airport. I know we have these technology problems right now all over the world where my flight might not get out. It took me 5 hours. Thank you, United Airlines. It was the worst experience in my life getting here. And now I'm listening to Anthony Weiner talk this nonsense. So if you have some job applications, because I can't take this much longer,
there was a rumor,
because he won't tell the truth.
There was a rumor going around the studio here in New York that Dominic Carter crashed the internet because he didn't want to have a conversation with Anthony Weiner this week. Look, can I tell you?
That's the funniest thing I've heard all year.
I am not going to.
You've been wrong week after week after week after week. And you know what? I give you credit for this, Mr. Weiner. No matter how wrong you are, you still get in the batter's box and you still swing.
In there.
And no matter what, you swing for the fences.
It ain't going to be worse than this week. This might be the worst week imaginable. But let's see. Listen, you wanted to jump ahead. I want to talk about J.D. Vance, but you wanted to jump ahead.
Let's talk about J.D. Vance.
Okay, let's go back to J.D. Vance.
I want to have that debate.
Did you think that was a good choice? Was he the one you were pulling for?
I think it was a wonderful choice. And you know why? Because J.D. Vance is going to expand the base in ways that Republicans didn't know was possible. Do you know that man's life story? He shares a lot in common with me.
Sounded a lot like AOC, but go ahead.
A lot like AOC.
Yeah, populists about the working man, about how we have to lift people up, how big corporations are a problem, how we have to stop going into wars. It's AOC, and I don't say that to be. I don't say that to be.
You should not insult anybody like that, comparing them to AOC.
It is a certain type of populism that I think he's good at. Look, here's my take on AOC. I'm sorry, on JD, and you can get my podcast this week and listen to it on the plane on the way back. I think he's dangerous because he's very smart. He is one of these guys that can pretend to be a perfect chameleon of the moment. And he was a perfect chameleon. We know the true him is the one who agrees with most of our listeners that Donald Trump is a phony and a fraud. But he has done.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Let me finish.
I knew that was your talking point.
Let me finish.
I wanted to let you set it up.
The AOC
you don't want to go there.
You
don't want to go there because when you go there, I'm going to say, and I'll let you finish your talking point. When you go there, I'm going to say, how dare you, Mr. Weiner? Remember what Kamala Harris said about Biden in a live debate to his face about being a racist, she was that little girl on the bus. So now you want to throw out Vance's words against Trump and use that against him, but your girl, who appears to be on top of the ticket for the Democrats, who is the biggest joke in America, did the same thing to Joe Biden.
No, not the same thing. Are you kidding? Vance went again. He did a whole national media tour calling him Hitler. I mean, but by the way, Kamala Harris never called him a racist. Just said you were wrong on busing. Which maybe he was, maybe he wasn't.
She didn't say I was that little girl on the bus.
She certainly did. That's not what you just said. You said she
called
me racist.
And so what is she implying? You tell me.
She's implying he was wrong on busing.
No, she's calling him a racist.
Okay,
Come
fine.
on.
Okay, fine. So J.D. Vance, any of our listeners can go to J.D. Vance about Donald Trump, and there's videos all over the place. He's in 100 interviews saying basically the same thing.
And he doesn't deny it. And he doesn't deny it. The interview he did with Hannity?
This is my point.
From here at the convention site, he doesn't deny the quote.
This is why I think he's very dangerous, because he is very, very, very good at what he does. Now, by the way, does he represent what Donald Trump believes on Ukraine?
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God, that's probably the single biggest foreign policy thing that does matter.
No. See, you want to play this game of the policy and let's split A from B.
Whether you support?
So what? Biden called Trump Hitler. So what? Biden called him a racist.
You don't think it matters?
Let's not focus at that. Let's not focus on that.
Let's focus
of our
listeners
on the policy differences between J.D. Vance and Donald Trump.
Yes.
There's only one president.
Okay.
There's only one president.
I'm asking you, since I didn't hear it out of Donald Trump.
And the vice president carries out the policies of the president.
What are his policies on Ukraine? I'm curious.
J.D. Vance.
No, Donald Trump. You're right. He's the vice president. But does he represent? Everyone said he picked someone that agrees with him. Is that what Donald Trump believes about Ukraine? That we should that Ukraine should give part of his country to Russia?
Okay, so wait a minute here. I believe you're referring to Crimea. I believe.
No. This present war, Ukraine.
Okay. What? Okay, but wait a minute.
That's what J.D. Vance has said. He said that the Ukrainians should cede land as part of a deal.
Okay,
he's against aid.
I give you a lot of credit, Mr. Weiner.
I appreciate
because you Democrats are just wrong.
Oh, we're right on Ukraine. You guys are wrong on Ukraine.
And you just keep. Well,
we stand up. Our party wants to stand up to Putin. Your guy wants to bend over.
My answer to that Ukraine issue. Did the wars happen under Trump? Did they happen under Trump?
No. The answer is no.
Oh. Which president did they happen under?
They happened under Obama and under Biden.
Case closed.
Wait a minute. But this is about the next election. Do we agree with that? This person's going to take office in January of 25. What is the Saturday night? What's the message?
Excuse me. Here we are Saturday night right now. Thursday night. What did Mr. Trump say in terms of
nothing?
He said nothing?
No, he didn't say anything. He didn't say what his policy is in Ukraine. What is it?
Wow.
Forgive me. You were paying closer attention than I was because that he's your guy. Tell me what his position is on Ukraine.
No. It's not a matter of him being my guy. It's that he's right on the issue.
Fine. Tell me what it is.
You guys are dead wrong. I just told you.
What is his position on Ukraine today?
Anthony. The only thing that matters is that Trump can boast that wars did not occur under him. Can Biden make the same pledge? That's the only thing that counts.
Okay, so this is not an election about the future. We're not talking about people's policies going forward.
Wait a minute.
I'm fine if you never want to do that.
Trump says,
if you only want to look back, I will.
If Trump says part of his platform is that he will solve these highly volatile issues around the world quickly, and there will be peace around the world.
Go ahead.
What is there not to understand?
How is he do that? What's his policy prescription? Okay. That's like saying I think everyone's. I'm going to make everyone in America happy. He's not going to say how. That's not the way campaigns work. So you don't know, do you, Dominic? Dominic, you don't know. You know that your guy has been bending over for Putin for so long. You assume he's going to bend over again.
No,
because he's weak. Because Donald Trump is weak.
It's that I won't play your silly games.
Oh, talk about policy.
Anthony
Ukraine is a little issue. It's a little issue.
Anthony Weiner bullshit. I won't play those games with you. You're not going to lead me down a path where you want me to go, where we can't have a debate of substance. Just like you refuse to answer about Biden calling Trump Hitler, about Biden calling him a racist, and then boom, some deranged individual takes a shot at Trump. Notice here we are. What
I actually did talk about that, and when we get back from the break,
you didn't answer anything about it.
I totally did. I totally did, and I'll refresh your memory when we get back from the break. Anthony Weiner on the left, Dominic Carter from Milwaukee on the right, and we'll be right back.
It's the left versus the right. It's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. 77 WABC.
So welcome back to Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on the left, Dominic Carter from Milwaukee on the right.
Hey, man, are you ever going to come out here and visit me in Milwaukee?
I would love to. I don't know if I can get a visa to come to a Republican convention. I would love to. I want to see where those blocks were that Laverne and Shirley marched down or whatever it is. But
Shamiel
Incorporated. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, you know who sang that, Anthony? Because I'm trying to help you, man. Let's not talk about the campaign. You don't have a leg to stand on. You know who did the Laverne and Shirley song?
Who
and
sung
finally
it?
sang on the air with me?
No, I assumed it was the two actresses.
Your boy Curtis Lewa. He finally did a song with me. Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've recovered from that. I'm surprised you're not in some institution somewhere.
So let's talk about the Mets, the Yankees.
Yes, we can talk about the All-Star break.
Let's talk about your son, a pleasant young man.
Well, let's
talk about anything. Let's talk about your mother, a wonderful woman.
Thank you.
You don't have any substance on any of these issues.
I don't think
and
that's
as a matter
true.
of fact, you Democrats have zero credibility.
I don't think that's true.
Trump's numbers and the Latino community and the black community, his numbers are going through the roof. This guy is about to redefine the entire landscape politically.
Let me ask you a question.
And all you Democrats can do is go,
I'm just curious.
That's all I hear.
I haven't said once today. I want to ask you a serious question because I cannot imagine a better couple of weeks from the convention, from the debate to today than a candidate has had, and a worse couple of weeks that the opponent candidate had, and yet it's still 52-48 or 51-49 or whatever.
Okay, but wait.
Can I ask you
who's the opponent? See, I'm not going to let you get away with that.
Go ahead.
Who's the opponent candidate in terms of which party?
I don't follow this. Right now, it's Trump versus Biden.
But what you left out of your analogy is that the leading candidate is the Republican candidate.
No, I know.
And the losing candidate is the Democrat. Right, but you didn't say that.
I thought it was implied when I said the Republicans had a great couple of weeks and they're only up by a couple of points. I thought you knew who the Republican was. Do you want me to repeat the setup a little? The setup is you guys had an amazing couple of weeks.
I'm trying to give you that show, Anthony.
I don't. Why don't you want to answer this?
I get a lifeline.
I want you to answer this.
I'm trying to help you, man. Let's talk about the Mets, the Yankees. Let's talk about your workout regime. In terms of you're in great shape. You're always riding around.
By the way,
helmets.
I fact checked,
and people don't know it's.
I fact checked.
But Anthony, why are we discussing this? You don't have any facts on your side.
Because
you guys are getting blown out.
Because I figured talking about the campaign you'd want to, but if you don't want to, well, we can want something else. I can do Kamala Harris and the Willie Brown. I checked that fact from last week. You want to do that? Why don't you want to talk about the campaign?
You want to do Kamala Harris? Let's.
I want to. You don't want to talk about J.D. Vance. You don't want to talk about Ukraine. You don't want to talk about abortion. You don't want to talk about the campaign. What do you want to talk about? Why did you pick an issue? It's not going to be the Mets or my mom. Both of those issues, as great as my mom is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She's a great woman.
She is.
She's a great woman.
But
and she was an educator. So that means the world to me.
Okay.
Now, I know it's tough.
Dominic,
I know it's tough.
You've been sipping a little of that. What is Milwaukee known for?
Week after week, she has to listen to me beating her son like a drum. I know that's not each other. And so I do apologize for that.
She's a big fan of yours.
And I'm going to let you win. I'll tie my hands behind. You guys have no substance to back up anything. When I say you guys, Democrats.
No, you can talk about
and you guys got Trump shot.
Okay,
but go ahead.
So, all right, you've said that 3 or 4 times. I'm going to let you present some evidence of that. Go ahead.
I've already done it.
Now do it again. I must have missed it. We have no evidence. We don't know what know what motivated that kid. We have no idea. It looks to me, frankly, like he's just someone who was bullied.
Did the Biden campaign run an ad comparing Trump to Hitler?
Using his own words?
Several times.
Yes. Quoted him.
So the Biden campaign did.
J.D. Vance said it. Yes. J.D. Vance said it.
Okay. Now.
J.D. Vance said it, I just said,
well,
Dominic. Don't you want to respond to that? J.D. Vance said it.
Okay. No, you know the reason why that's
yes, I do know the reason why. I do know the reason why.
because it's almost laughable.
It's a party of phonies. It's a party of phonies.
As what Kamala Harris did to Biden, until the Biden team said,
taking
"Hey,
one quote from a debate,
pretty black woman.
Taking one quote.
Let's put this pretty black woman on the ticket. We can ride this pony all the way to the White House. Black lives matter.
All you see is race.
Hey, let's call the families. Oh, all I see is race. All I see is race.
You're the only one talking about race in this show.
Wow.
You were talking Kamala Harris.
I see is race.
She's a United States Senator from California. So you want to get back to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Camille, Shamazu. I forget the rest.
Ishkabibble
we might as well talk about Laverne and Shirley.
So you don't want to talk about J.D. Vance. That seems like a sensitive subject. I thought you would hang in there on J.D. Vance, but him calling your guy Hitler is a little bit embarrassing.
What is there to talk? J.D. Vance is a rock star that's going to deliver Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. What is there to talk about?
You with your predictions will only know in November. We have to do a show right here in July.
Oh, those accurate predictions that I'm always accurate and you never are? Are those the predictions you're talking about?
What do you mean? Which one?
Any of them. Pick one. Any prediction.
You said it was going to be a hung jury. You said it was going to be a hung jury. The guy's a convict.
Okay, and you said the same thing. That's the only one and he's not a convict.
He totally is.
That's about to be overturned.
He's been
convicted.
You
know it's about to be. Excuse me. Is that about to be overturned?
Nope. That one's not. You don't have one of your.
Come visit me in Milwaukee.
Wait a minute. That one. Why would that one be? That one's not special.
I don't know.
That's
if
not
drank,
a special prosecutor.
Do you drink?
I don't. I'm sober.
You don't. Okay. So we can go out and get ice cream cones. We can visit the beer
can I ask
Bowery here in Milwaukee with Laverne.
Don't you want to talk about?
Hey, you know what?
Let's talk about Joe Biden.
You don't see any Laverne and Shirley signs around here. You know,
I'm surprised. So let's talk about Joe Biden.
They did.
I promise we talk about Joe Biden.
I'm trying to help you, man. I don't want to talk presidential politics.
I actually do. I want to talk about all the subjects I wrote on my rundown that you agreed to, and for week 17 in a row, you're flying off like doing none of them. I put down J.D. Vance number 3. Let's go back and do that one.
Okay. Okay.
Say the best thing. Say the best thing about him. Is he smart? I think he's very smart.
I've already told you. The man is a rock star that is going to expand the base.
What's good about
Trump.
What's good about
him?
What do you like most about him?
It sets up the Republican Party for after Trump, and it was a masterful move.
Okay, because
now you
do you like him?
You tell me what's wrong with him.
I do. You get like masterful. It's a lot of platitudes. I want to know what you like about him.
I like the fact that he has a similar background to me, that he rose up.
He has a good biography.
Nothing.
And you went to Yale. He went to Yale.
He rose up out of nothing.
You're a white guy from Appalachia. He wrote a book about white people.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Oh, I thought it was.
He was raised by his grandmother.
Which is great. I love that story. That's a great story.
His mother had a drug addiction. My mother was mental illness. He has a great. That's going to resonate.
No, I think he has a great biography. There's
America.
A lot of people that have great biographies. I think he has an excellent biography. He's married to a brown woman. I think he's got a great biography. But that's really not. I mean, that's all you care about is that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't care anything about the substance of his positions, what he believes, what he doesn't believe.
When you're the vice president, so you're trying to get me to.
No, I just want to know what you like about him. That's it. Just his biography.
I just told you, Mr. Weiner.
Just his biography.
Because when you're the vice president, you carry out the policies of the president. Even end of story.
You know, I get it. I get it. So you like his biography.
Okay,
but
so you tell me.
So
you tell me then what you don't like about him.
Well, I think that he's completely intolerant on choice. I mean, he has basically come out and said that there should be no exceptions. He says that he talks about women should stay in marriages even if they're being beaten up. He says that he thinks there should be a national abortion ban, and he is completely wrong on foreign policy. I mean, besides that, he seems like a lovely fella.
Right now, do you think any of those things is going to hurt him?
Well, you mean hurt the ticket? I agree with you. I don't think vice presidents make a big difference, but it's going to make it very hard. Usually you choose someone that helps you with whatever your weaknesses are. And Donald Trump has flip-flopped more times on abortion than I've ever seen. So, I think it's going to hurt him because it's going to bring that to, and you don't like talking about it. Donald Trump doesn't like talking about it, but unfortunately a lot of Americans do. So I think that's going to hurt him. But I am a big fan of the pick for the following sinister way. I think someone who is as smart as JD, who has shown, what does that stand for, by the way? Do we know, JD? I actually don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But hey, man,
wouldn't it be funny if it was John Donald? You get two guys named John Donald.
Hey, yeah. Did you know who was on third? It was Greg Nettles. Did you know who played shortstop? It was Bucky Dent. Do you know who was at second base?
Willie Randolph.
You know who was at first?
Chambliss.
Chris Chambliss. Who was the catcher?
Munson. Who was
in center field?
I'm a Met fan, and this is just happening.
Mickey Rivers.
Correct, Mickey Rivers. Right.
I don't know who was in left. I don't
Roy
know.
White?
That
a different era?
Conversation.
Oh, Pinella.
1,000 times more interesting than you trying to go down this abortion.
I don't know, man.
Thing.
It's left versus right on a political station.
Trump has clearly said, let every state make its own decision. And you guys don't have an answer for that.
No, I actually do.
So you sit up here and you go, well, J.D. Vance.
No, I have an answer.
Vance is not on the abortion
I have an answer.
Issue the way we want him to be. And so this is the only thing that we have. So let's just focus on that, Dominic.
We got other things. But I heard that answer, and I have a question for you about it, just so I understand the position. So does that mean the Republicans support states like New York having generous access to abortion? Is that what Republicans believe?
What it means is Mr. Trump has been I'm answering the question. Mr. Trump has been very clear on it. And he said that let each individual state come up with its own decision. So that means the decision in New York stands, the decision in Mississippi stands.
So the Republican Party supports. Supports. No, I just want to make sure I understand. Taking that to its logical conclusion, that means that the Republican Party of 2024 under Donald Trump supports generous access to abortion in any state that votes for it. Is that right?
The Republican Party supports individual states coming up with their own decision.
No, I know. So New York comes up.
You can try and twist my words.
No, I'm not going to try. I want to understand your words, Dominic, and I'm asking you a question that seems to me easy to answer.
They were very clear. I think my words were very clear.
Okay, so in other words,
so when you come out here and you don't drink, so what are we going to do?
Well, you and I have never had any trouble finding trouble when we've gotten together, so I don't think we'd have any trouble finding a little bit of mischief.
I mean, are we going to ride bikes? I mean, we're not going to want to work out all day, right?
I'm not going to do that. I don't know where you get that idea. By the way, I'm turning 60 this summer, so this is a little bit of a sensitive subject for me.
Happy birthday!
No, not yet. I will let you know at the appropriate time. I'll let you know at the appropriate. Since
how's your son doing? Seriously, let's talk about some substance. You don't have any issues to talk about for real.
I actually do.
I really want to know.
We haven't even talked about who's going to be the Democratic nominee, and we're 2 minutes left in the show.
Now? I want to talk about something that people can relate to. They can't relate to this
he's
nonsense
away at
you're
camp.
Talking about politics.
He's away at camp. His mom and I visit him tomorrow, in fact. So we're all stressed out. We're going to bring him candy. They have a big water fight at the end of the summer, so we're bringing him as one of these big mega super soaker kind of things. Nice. He's going to like that.
How old is your son right now?
He's 12 and a half. He's going to be 13 on December 21st. So he's like almost exactly 12 and a half.
Now, haven't you done a couple of fishing trips with him?
A couple. Yeah, we fish a little bit. And when he got me a Father's Day gift, he got me a very cute kind of fishing. What are we talking about here? We haven't even talked about the biggest issue out there. And
what is the biggest issue
who's the Democratic nominee going to be?
Okay. Well, I'll defer to you.
I have no freaking idea. I have no idea.
Oh, I can guarantee you who it's going to be.
It looks like it. I mean, I had said as recently as last week that I still thought it was 90-10 Biden. And obviously, it's not 90-10 Biden anymore. But
so you were wrong. You're acknowledging you were wrong,
dude. I am wrong all the time. But
I'm not.
No, yes,
I'm not.
Yes, you're wrong plenty.
No. So wait. So you're telling me, Anthony, it's going to be I'm the black vice president.
Everything's about race.
I ran from the border. I left Joe Biden standing by himself, but now it's Team Kamala. That's what you're telling me?
Why is race so important to you, Dominic?
Wait, is that what you're telling me?
I don't know.
I mean, because
I didn't know whose voice were you doing?
The Biden, I was doing Vice President Harris. I just didn't laugh. I didn't want to mock her that way. The vice president, I mean, what's her claim to fame?
Her claim to fame is she's the vice president of the United States.
Hey. hey, Joe, we can win this election. Black Lives Matter. Get that
No,
black woman.
she was the other
Get
one.
that black woman.
No. She wasn't the Black Lives Matter one. You're forgetting 2019. She lost because she wasn't a Black Lives Matter person. She was an aggressive prosecutor
of bad guys.
When
it came time to motivate the base, that you just said, I'm always focusing on race. No. The Biden campaign said, hey, forget what she said about you, Joe.
You just said the same thing about JD. Say, forget what he said, called him Hitler. Let's get him because it helped with the base.
Exactly.
You just said the same thing. So why are you criticizing Kamala for that? Or Kamala. I got to learn how to say her name. Kamala or Kamala?
Well, it doesn't matter what you call her. There's going to be a whole lot worse things said about her. You know, the only. Hey, I got a solution for you guys. Seriously,
yeah.
The
Let's hear it in our last minute. This will be what we'll remember with.
Here's what you can hope for. The media is going to Obama her.
I hope so. Oh my God, I hope so.
She will be able to walk on water. No real criticism. And then that way, perhaps, maybe, possibly, allegedly, then maybe you guys have an outside chance.
30 seconds left.
Best
Here, let me do a little Kamala. Last time we had a woman, she won the popular vote. Last time we had a black, they won the election. So this whole idea that a black woman can't get elected, I think she can, and I think she's going to, if she's our candidate.
What woman won? Oh, Hillary.
Yep. Hillary won the popular. Your guy is not one that Mr. Legendary or Mr. Incredibly Popular hasn't won the popular vote anytime he's run. Listen, Dominic, come back safely. Don't travel.
Kamazu.
Ishkabibble Incorporated. It's Dominic Carter on the right from Milwaukee.
Hey,
Anthony Weiner on your left.
I miss you, man.
You
Come on,
too,
I'm
buddy.
not coming back. I'm supposed to go to the airport right now for I think, an 8 or 9 p.m. flight back to New York. I know we're over time. I'm not coming back. Vinny's standing by. I'd rather listen to Vinny and the music than this nonsense that you're talking.